Journaling is probably the single habit that has changed my life the most. And I am not exaggerating when I say that. My name is AJ Chow. If you don't already know me, welcome to the channel. And I am a bodybuilder, and I also work as a night shift nurse. And I'm back home for the weekend. I'm originally from the Bay Area, so I'm back home in San Francisco with my folks, and just thought I'd record something as we are coming to the end of the year. Today is actually December 28th as I'm recording this, and I look back on a lot of what's happened in this past year, and a big part of that is understanding the things that you've accomplished, obviously, and also the things that you're looking forward to in the next year. And that's something that I always keep in mind as I go into the new year, because I'm always striving to be better. I'm striving to improve a certain area of my life, and that's not always easy when you're not intentional about it. And so something that I've picked up recently, that I've been doing for the better half of the last 2 years, is journaling. And just going to kind of talk you through a little bit of the process that I use to write down my thoughts every day, and kind of what I do and how I set up my journals. So real quick, this is actually my old journal. I kind of finished it perfectly at the end of this year, and as you can see here, it's a pretty basic journal. I have like maybe one sticker on it. And I do get these journals from Lucien Therm 1917. That's the brand. It's really nice because it tends to come with these little like bindings that let you label your journal with like whatever cover you want, as you can see here. So this one I labeled as Silver Linings because, you know, when we see clouds, they're typically gray, and they have this kind of, I always think of my journals as a very symbolic thing. And so for me, like last year was a very sad and difficult year, but it also had so many really great moments. And so for me, I felt like just labeling it as like Silver Linings was a very appropriate name to kind of label that year of 2025 and then kind of 2026. And so that kind of wraps up the end of this journal. So as you can see here, I usually date it, but at the end here, I'm going to have to put December 2025, which brings me to this new journal here, which is this one right here. And it's the exact same journal. I like to keep things very basic, very clean, but this one's also from Lucien Therm 1917. And the reason why I love these journals so much is that they fit in your backpack. Like you can take them anywhere you want to go. I usually get them in this A5 size, and I get them lined. You can also get them bulleted. They're made with this like 80 GM paper, so it's like super thick. Even if you spill water on it, you're good. You're covered. But these are amazing. I love these. They come with the same bindings. So I'll open it up with you. It's like I decided to get, I'll kind of talk you through the colorway as I open this, but I decided to get a navy one because I wanted a dark color, because this next season that I'm heading into is very unknown. I don't really know what's going to come up, and there's a lot of uncertainty involved. But at the same time, there's this deep blue color, right? And there's this like depth to that season of life that I'm going into, that there's this growth that I am certain will come as I continue to rely on faith, and as I continue to dig deeper into the things that I want to do into my career. Just trying to kind of like understand the way God's trying to lead me and show me in terms of like what are the things that He wants to lead me into. So super basic. There's nothing on this journal. And inside you get these little inserts here. It's kind of nice. It has this little like, it kind of goes over all the little types of journals they have, different sizes, and even, I guess they have like a pen loop that you can attach to their journals if you want. Anyways, usually toss those out, and then there's even like this personal, I don't know if he actually hand signed these, but there's these like notes here and like with these signatures, which is pretty awesome. If it'll autofocus, there we go. And yeah, it's cool because you get to kind of get like this personal. It says, "Thank you very much for purchasing a Leuchtturm 1917 product. For 100 years we have been developing our products in the firm belief that details matter. May we wish you a lot of pleasure with this product." So I keep coming back to these. I love them. You can obviously label that in your first page, and they've got table of contents. I think 2 pages of table of contents with like the number and then the subject like right next to it, which is pretty awesome. And then the rest of these are just like strict pages, super high quality. They don't bleed. They're like semi-waterproof, and at the end of this, you actually get these labels here. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what you get to basically stick on either the front side of your journal, like I did in my last journal, or you can put to the binding on the side, as you can see here. So it's an easy way to organize, categorize your life, and section out different things you want to talk about. But yeah, that's essentially the journal. And how I break it up for me is I start with a very simple approach. So I'll kind of show you here as I turn the camera around. But what I do here is, so this is a typical kind of like day in a life of journaling. As you can see, for me, journaling is very practical. I don't really journal on things that just to feel good. Like I don't journal for productivity. As you see here, very simply, I write the time that I wake up, and that's because I follow Andrew Huberman's protocol of drinking caffeine. So I don't drink caffeine until 2 hours after this wake up time typically. So if it's right here, 5:09, if I woke up at 5:09 a.m., I won't drink coffee till 7 a.m. Date goes up there as always, and I always will write this out the night before. So essentially for me, it's the to-dos list of the things I need to get done that day. So for me, it's the reason I write only 3 things is because it's very easy to kind of get overwhelmed with the things you need to do, and oftentimes it's very easy to get distracted. And so oftentimes I'll get more than these 3 things done, but these are like the main things that I need to get done. And then on here on the right, I like to write for one thing that I need to do. For everything I need to do, I'll write something that I'm grateful for. So I guess in this case, it was being able to have shawarma with my friend Gio, going to Wingstop and them having 80-cent wings, or having shake and a milkshake and ice cream. Gosh, this was like post competition, because I was like super craving food. But anyways, yeah, that's in general how I set it up, and honestly everything else from there just is very chronological, as you can see. So yeah, I'll pretty much like write down exactly what it is that I feel like that day. Whether it's a morning devotion, I'll just title that there and I'll write it. If I have a random thought, I'll write that. Highlight of the day, I'll write that. Sundays, to be honest, I don't even have time to journal, so this is like an example of that, and I'll just skip to the next day, and then I'll do like the same to-dos, grateful, and then just like random things, like maybe I'm watching a YouTube video that I'm inspired by, or I'm reading a certain book that I want to, reflect on, or this is like post binge eating day, like this is my reflection on it. And I typically like to write the time of this being 22:27, military time for 10:27 p.m. The reason why I do that is like mainly because it gets me into the mindset of like what I was thinking maybe that late into the night. Sometimes it's telling for me to, be able to reflect on that. And yeah, I'll use this more as a chronological thing. The nice thing about this journal is that it's very easy to bookmark certain pages. So if you wrote something important, for instance, on page 128, then it's very easy for you to go all the way back. Oh yes, this is my habit tracker. So I did that for a bit. Go back to the table of contents here and then write exactly that page number down and then label that as like, you know, inspirational idea for YouTube video or something like that. So yeah, that's essentially how I organize a journal. Obviously this new one I'm going to be setting up pretty soon. It's completely empty right now. But to kind of finish this video off, before it gets too long, is essentially, yeah, journaling has been a huge, like, big habit of mine, and it's something that I think I really underestimated initially. I thought it was like, you know, girls do this, I don't really care, but it's allowed me to externalize my thoughts a lot better. It's allowed me to really think about what I feel, and because of that, I feel like now I have a podcast, and that's a place where I can really express my ideas really well because of this internal work that I did in here, right? If it weren't for this, then I wouldn't be able to do that out there. And so it really is like this superpower once you figure out how to use it, and you realize that, like, the more clear you can be on paper, the more clarity you have, the more you can see those goals kind of manifesting in your life and actually coming to play. And if you're a Christian like me, obviously a big part of this is like being able to write down answered prayers, being able to write down the things that have happened this year that you know, want to spend more time processing or want to spend more time kind of thinking about as you move into the next year. And so that's just, you know, something that I found to be really important coming to the end of the year in December right now, as we head into this new year, like writing down things that I really want to work on. And then even being able to go back and reread some of those entries that you've written in the past is something that's been super beneficial for me, because I noticed that there's moments that I've gotten to relive, and because of that I get to re-experience those joys, re-experience those maybe emotional highs or even lows, and seasons in my life where I almost forgot because maybe it was really traumatic, or maybe it was something that I, you know, just blew, like there was so much happening in that time period that I didn't really honestly get time to slow down. But whenever I journal and look back at previous entries, it's always a moment that I get to just like pause and really think about, wow, like that really happened. And December is a really great time to do that. And yeah, as you head into the new year, hopefully that's something that you can also bring. Curious to actually to know what are things that you guys like to, you know, journal about. Or do you guys journal? Is it something that you guys practice, or is it something that's kind of like, you know, most people don't have time for? Anyways, gonna shut off the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to follow the journey. I'll be posting a little bit more on just the journey of travel nursing, something that I'm looking into and applying for. So we'll probably be moving out of my staff job role pretty soon. Really excited to see what that looks like. Still waiting to hear back from a lot of people, but yeah, come along and follow the journey. It's really nice to have you if you're new here, and yeah, I'm just kind of documenting the process, not really sure how this is working, but just always gonna deliver on transparency. Still getting used to this whole camera thing and talking to myself, but I'm sure I'll get better at it over time. If you are a nurse yourself and you still are trying to figure out what night shift looks like, and you know what kind of things to do and how to optimize your time, check out this video right here where I go over different things that allowed me to get through my night shift and look better than 99% of people. Because you don't want to be a nurse that's super tired, that just works your 3 days and can't do anything else on your other days off. So we'll leave it there. I'll see you guys in the next one.